Hi, this is Kamera again. We're on day number 243, Ezekiel 5 through 8. Ezekiel, man of God, we know that God called him to be a prophet, to go out and deliver his messages. God had other prophets at this time, but this thing with Ezekiel, though, he has Ezekiel doing some, we would think would be crazy during this time. Ezekiel in Babylon at the moment, God gives him these visions. God gives him these things that he has to perform with his body and everything. For instance, in our last reading, he had to build this type of structure. Well, it wasn't really a structure. He drew a map in the ground. He built this wall of stones or what have you, and he laid on his side physically. He had to lay on his side. Weird, crazy looking stuff, right? So God tells him in today's reading to take a sword and use it as a razor, shave off his beard, shave off his hair, and he tells him to give him instructions on what to do with the hairs. Scatter the hairs over the map that he drew, cut their hair, burn their hair, all this stuff, scattered it in the wind, different things he told him to do with the hairs. Take some over to put in his robe. Yeah, stuff that he tells him to do, right? People are watching, wondering what's going on with this man. But God has a message that he's trying to put out. And I see that he tries in different ways to get that message across to the people who are sinning against him, doing these detestable things. They're serving injustice to each other. They are serving idols, worshiping idols. Yeah, they're doing some stuff that are abominable to God, detestable to God, totally displeasing God. They're turning their backs on God. They're doing their own thing. So he sent these prophets out to do and say, give out his message of judgment. And so now he's saying that he's talking about how he has blessed Jerusalem, and she has rebelled, and not only rebelled, but have been doing worse things than even the surrounding nations have done or been doing. So when he punishes them, it's going to be worse than any type of punishment he's ever given to any nation or ever will give to any other nation. Yeah, he is upset. He said he won't have any pity on them. They're going to be eating each other. Children are going to be eating parents. Parents are going to be eating each other. Yeah. So 1/3 of the people will die from disease and famine. Another third will be slaughtered by the enemy outside the walls. And some of them, a third, will be, chased by sword. Wild animals are going to eat a lot of them, attacking. They're going to rob the children. And some people are even going to be escaping to the mountains. In the mountains, there's other things that's going on there. They're going to be in mourning. And I believe at this time, a lot of them are going to be the ones that escape and make it to the mountains. A lot of them are going to be sorrowful. They're going to really feel bad about the sin they have brought on themselves. And so a lot of the hills under the tree have these idols, have these shrines, have these Asherah poles. They've been really what they call buck wild. And so a lot of people feel, okay, but they don't have to serve God. You really don't have to serve God. You really don't have to serve God. It is a choice. But I want you to say that when someone lives in something you've blessed them with, and how you expect it to them, if they're living under your roof, how they should respect your space and everything that you continue to bless them with. Let them treat what you bless them with any types of way and totally disrespect you in your face. And that's only on a human level. I'm not even talking about on the God level, the things they have done. God says, he told Ezekiel that there's no hope. Judgment is here. It's happening. It's going to happen, guys. It's here. Judgment is here. And think about it. Ezekiel is already in Babylon. He's in, I think, the 9th year of the time that, Jehoiachin was caught and placed into captivity by Nebuchadnezzar, I think 34, 37 years. This is his 9th year of being there. And Ezekiel's there with him in Babylon as well. And I think he came there with during that time before, like in the first couple years that Jehoiachin was there. So he's been there for a few years now in Babylon. He's been there for at least 5 years by now. And so get this. Says here that it's going to be so bad there that even Their money is going to be worthless. They were of value. The 7 gold were values, but they're going to be treating money like it's garbage and throwing the garbage. So much calamity on top of calamity. They will be looking for prophets to give them a word. There's no more prophets giving them a positive message. There's going to be no priests, no counselors available to help these people. They're going to be totally helpless. And he says he will bring on them the evil they have done to others. Same evil they've been doing to others is going to happen to them. Yeah. So okay, here we go. The 6th year of Jehoiachin's captivity. He says while leaders were in his home, God took him in the spirit, in a vision to Jerusalem, to the temple of God. Now this part right here. When you read this part and you hear God say, do you see what they are doing? Do you see, Ezekiel, what they are doing? You have Ezekiel to go to the temple, tell him to put a hole in the wall and just look through it. And there's a hidden door there. Go through that door. 70 leaders. They have these walls and wild animals engraved in these walls, detestable images engraved in the walls, and they're bowing down to these images. And he's like, do you see what they are doing? In the temple of God. This temple was created for God. This is the temple that David had drew up the plans for. He wanted to build that temple for God. He said, I live in this palace. And you're living in a tent, Lord. Because you remember the tent that they used And David had a heart to build this temple for God, but he allowed his son. God said, no, we'll let your son Solomon build that temple. This temple was built with care. So much honor to God. And once it was done, the glory of God filled that temple. And look what they're doing to it now. They have totally defiled this temple. He said, do you see what they are doing? Burning incense, bowing down to these idols. Then he took them to the inner city. And they're doing the same thing. Detestable sin. Detestable sin. Isn't that something? So I think God has every right to be upset how they're dishonoring him, disrespecting him. But then again, that's my opinion. Only what God says really matters. And I agree with him 100%. It's totally disrespectful. He created this earth and everything in it. These are the people who he set free and blessed them. And they turned their back on him. They not only disrespect God with these idols and these detestable acts, but they also dishonor each other. They disrespect each other. They kill each other. They burn each other. They just treat each other really bad as well. God is not pleased with that. He said judgment is here and it's going to happen. Everything's going to happen. So yeah, guys, again, I love the book of the prophet. It shows the heart of God. It really does. And we're going to continue reading Ezekiel. This is day number 243. Ezekiel chapter 5 through 8. You have a God-filled blessed day.